You're listening to a Soul One podcast.
All right. Let's hope this works. Is it working?
Well, it's recording.
Okay, good. All right. Well, we'll let everyone know we're joining you from a very Taylor way of recording. This is how things were done, I guess, while I was away, because nothing for me is working. So hopefully this is of decent enough quality that people are kind of okay with it.
Well, you have the stats. I don't know how many people dropped off for the 2 months you were away. We retained enough of our fan base that we were able to have 2 fan bag episodes, so the audio can't be that bad.
Yeah, people also have high tolerance, I guess.
It's only temporary. God willing, you'll have worked out your microphone issues for next week. Do you think that it's you've complained about this before? Do you think your microphone just died?
It's possible. It's possible it finally gave out. I think, I do think that, unfortunately, this microphone's on its last legs.
I've had the same microphone since the pandemic, so it'll be 6 years in March? No, it is 6 years old. The only thing that changed is I put it on a stand. But it's going strong, I think we bought them at the exact same time, so we'll see.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, we just bought them the minute the pandemic hit, and we kind of figured out how we were going to do this, right? Like we wanted to, still record, still podcast. We were still at the radio station at the time, and we just felt like, well, we'll just get equipment and we'll record ourselves and just kind of see how that worked. And it did work. I mean, we pretty much have been doing remote ever since. Like, we never went back.
Whereas more legitimate outfits updated their material like after a year. We're like, what's broke? It's not broke. Don't fix it.
Yeah, we kind of wait until this happens.
There's a calamity.
Yeah, and then we take a long look at our technology and say, maybe we should change.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see. Or, you'll literally go to do something tomorrow and the microphone will be working and we'll just continue on until the next calamity. But anyways, that's why our audio might sound a little bit funny. I'm reverse engineering essentially what I did for 2 months. So I got my voice memo app and I got my speakerphone mic and we're just doing our best. And
just on phones, just on a phone, chatting about movies.
The way it's meant to be, the way it should be.
Yeah. I don't feel like a podcast at all. It feels like we're just having a phone conversation.
Yeah, we're just 2 pals talking movies. That could be in another 300 episodes when we rebrand again and we have a new name. We can say 2 pals talking about movies will be our new. I'm joking. It's a lot of work to rebrand. I hope the show ends before we have to do that again.
I never want to do that again. Just picking a name was the hardest thing in the world.
Yeah, it was a bit of a nightmare. But anyways, Mike, did you end up going to see The Sheep Detectives?
I did. I did go see it. I knew you were going to see it, and I told you I wanted to see it as well so we could talk about it. This is a good episode to have technology fail on us and talk on our phones because we both saw the same movie. Yeah. So at least, as long as everyone can hear one of us, you're going to get a review. So I did see it. I went to the theaters to see the film. And I have some thoughts on it. I have some things to say about it. One thing I will say, Taylor, I don't know, you and I are close enough in age that we share a lot of the same movies as a kid. How did you feel about Babe, the movie Babe?
I loved Babe.
Absolutely, me too. Okay. That was, I think, one of the most rewatched movies for me as a kid.
Agreed. We quoted That Will Do, Pig in our household all the time. So it's funny, you're not the only person to bring up that comparison. In fact, when Dan and I saw the trailer for this when we went to go see Project Hail Mary, and we looked at each other and we're like, it's like Babe.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think I've seen some reviews being like, Babe meets Knives Out. That's
Right.
kind of
Right, right. I saw those too, and it's interesting because I think it's a fair comparison because I do think this movie was trying to kind of harken back to those types of movies. Like I do feel a flavor of that within this, and I want to say one thing right off the bat about this movie. I want to applaud them for an attempt to put together a movie that appeals to children and would be something like kids would be interested in seeing, but doesn't talk down to your audience.
Mhm.
And they tried to make a movie that you could see as a whole family and not be annoyed by. And we talk about, I rant on this show all the time about that and how we don't do it now. So I'm going to applaud the effort. I think there's I'm going to have lots of criticisms, but I want to start off with that positive. I think that that's great that they weren't too kiddie, if that makes sense. There's two moments in this movie in particular that I was like, oh, that's kind of dark. You know, that they're trying to do something a little more for adults. So
Okay.
I applaud them.
Pause quickly about how it is being described as a family movie. So I watched the trailer again and I thought, okay, that's an adult movie.
Right.
And then when we went to go see it, it was like an afternoon Sunday. It wasn't a super packed theater, but there were at least two families that had small children, not like as young as George, but like under the age of 10. And Dana went, oh, isn't that nice to see families? And I said to him, because the movie hadn't started yet, I don't think this is a family movie. And like, I don't know. I don't remember watching movies growing up where the characters are solving a literal murder.
Well, no, but if you remember in Babe, there is a death of a sheep or two, and the blood on Babe's snout. Right? Like
Yeah, there's it's implied.
implied stuff. So yeah, I think the premise wise, you're correct. I think they kind of, tried to brush off, but one of the dark moments was the maned sheep there finding Hugh Jackman's body, which again, this isn't a spoiler. I'm just going to tell everyone that is the premise of the movie.
You find out in the trailer.
You find out not only in the trailer. This happens 5 minutes into the movie. Like it's not. The murder mystery is the movie. So one of the dark moments is the sheep finding him and not understanding what death is.
Yeah,
and that's kind of a darker theme that is talked about in this movie, is these sheep kind of discovering things, much like I think kids discover certain elements of life as you get older, and sometimes that kind of breaks the bubble. But I do think that it is something they want families to enjoy. I do agree with you though, Taylor. I would classify this as more of an adult movie, but making that attempt to kind of bring in everybody and not make it too kiddie, not go too soft, and say, yeah, there are some real elements here, and some kids will be scared. But I do think I like that they tried.
I think this, if I was to characterize this as a family movie, I would say like 12 plus. Like I wouldn't.
I'm a little surprised that you said the kids were under 10 that were there.
Yeah, they were. Like they had stuffies that they brought into the movie theater. Like they were young enough that they had like stuffies with them.
Hey, that I think might be too young.
Yeah. So that's why I'm like, I don't know. So I enjoyed this movie. I'm surprised that you said you have a lot of criticisms. My biggest, when you said, I'm going to say this right off the bat, I thought you were going to talk about the CGI sheep.
Well, that too. That is a criticism I have.
That was the biggest critique that I had. And I know we live in a world now where we don't use animal actors and it's too expensive to use puppets, although they used a puppet in Project Hail Mary. And
it's a great effect, right? Like the puppet was
amazing.
Fantastic. Yeah.
And so speaking like the comparison to Babe, this movie does feel to me a little uncanny valley. Like I'm very aware that those are not real sheep.
There were too many moments where we were just with the sheep that it felt more like a cartoon.
And I just think that this movie would have been elevated if they used puppets. I'm assuming Babe, because Babe came out in the 90s and there was like primitive CGI. I'm assuming it was like a little bit real sheep or a little bit of real animals, a little bit of puppeteering, and a little bit of post CGI. I think this movie definitely would have benefited from that. You know, in long shots, use real sheep. Like, or maybe they did. I don't know. I just was like very hyper aware that these were fake sheep. And then it was even more obvious when they're with the humans that like a little bit of a Sonic syndrome where they're acting to CGI green screen. So that was kind of my biggest critique. I enjoyed this movie. I thought it was breezy. Like it was an easy movie to watch.
Yeah, I do think it was easy to watch. I agree it was breezy. I think my criticism about the movie is I felt like the sheep were also very underdeveloped.
Oh, I didn't have that problem.
Really, I just felt like aside from, really the kind of, I guess, two main sheep, I didn't really feel much for the others. Like I kept kind of wanting more out of we kept going to too many things with too many of the human characters where I kind of wanted 3 or 4 more scenes to explain the sheep who are not like our main sheep.
Fair.
The one who remembers everything. I felt like I just wanted more character development out of them, and there were just too many scenes with the humans that I just didn't care about. I just didn't care about the humans as much. I know it was a murder mystery, but I didn't think there was anything like overly interesting going on there other than, the police officer's going around, but I would have framed it more around the sheep.
I think that's understandable. I agree that the movie thrived or did the best when it was focused on the sheep, and especially the sheep and their interaction with the police officer, Tim. I thought that was good. I liked that. It's interesting. Did I think that they were underdeveloped? I don't know. I thought Mopple, that's the sheep that remembers everything. So the main sheep are Lily, Sebastian, and Mopple, voiced by Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Bryan Cranston, and Chris O'Dowd. Quite a stacked cast. Patrick Stewart also voices one of the sheep, and Bella Ramsey. There's other sheep too, but those are kind of the big names.
Those are the main ones, yeah.
I do think that the Winter Lamb was underdeveloped.
Yeah.
And I would have liked to see more of the Winter Lamb and like kind of, I agree. Like it would have been, the movie was most interesting going into the lore of the sheep. So I say that the movie was breezy. I thought it was an easy watch. You're right, Mike. There's 2 particularly dark aspects to the movie that would be more difficult for younger viewers. But I thought some of the reviews I've seen are... I did not expect to go into the sheep movie and end up crying the whole movie. I think that not even the dark parts, but the overall emotional message about like the value of remembering and grief and rootedness in tradition and in family, I thought that resonated. It resonated a lot with me. And I also... those reviews that kind of poke fun at, like, I can't believe the sheep movie made me cry. I agree. I did tear up a little bit. And so I don't disagree. It would have been nice to know more about the sheep lore. Like, why do they forget? How does that work? And I thought it was so... the sheep mythology that sheep don't die. They just become clouds. Like, so beautiful. So sweet, even though, it's a side effect of them choosing not to remember. But again, I would have liked to know more about the winter sheep stuff and like how that factored into their
versus spring versus like and I think the most interesting parts for me were with their perspective of the world, like their description of God and church was really funny, like little things like that. Like, what else do they believe? Like other than the cloud thing, like what else do they know? What else do they believe? Like those are things I wanted more of. And I felt like we kept going back to very unfunny human characters. I didn't mind the police officer, but I really just felt everybody else was not funny. Like the sheep were the funniest part of that movie.
Oh, 100%.
And that's kind of where we stand there. And again, I will say, I think you like this movie more than I did because I only laughed a handful of times and I wanted more. Like I wanted this to be a little funnier. I love the heartfelt moments. I thought that was well done. But I just think you should balance your heart with more humor when you can, because for me, I didn't feel as much emotional connection to these sheep as I wanted to. And I wanted to like this movie more than I did, but I felt like it just kind of fell flat for me. Like it was a breezy watch, and it's like, oh, you just didn't like push it to the next level for me to be something I'd want to rewatch again or show to children or like, that kind of thing. I felt like it just didn't quite get there.
I think that's fair. I think you're right that I liked this movie more than you. Dan and I certainly did laugh during the movie, and we laughed, and Dan said I think we were laughing the most. Like even just like the delivery of some of the lines, which is a credit to the voice actors.
Oh, the voice actors. Yeah, some of them were very good. Now some of them felt a little flat for me, but some of them I thought were good. I mean, it's hard when I think you have a certain stacked cast, like Bryan Cranston. I feel like that's hard for random person who voiced one of the other Chiefs to like compete with that. And I felt like, I just wish we saw more of Bryan Cranston's character. You know what I mean? Like that background was very complex and interesting. And that's the kind of stuff I think about that I wanted more of.
Right. And it's funny, Dan was like, I could have done without that backstory. But that's because he didn't like the sad parts. He only wanted it to be the happy, silly murder detecting of the sheep. So it's everyone has preferences. I will say there was one other thing that I wanted to mention. I can't remember if I mentioned this last week, why I was so excited I was already super excited to see this movie. And then I saw that it was directed by the guy who did Minions and written by the guy who did Chernobyl. And that really like captures the two wolves inside of me, the Minions director and the Chernobyl writing. Will I say this was the best movie I've seen? No. I certainly like this movie more than you're saying, Mike. This would be a movie that I would rewatch and would introduce to George when he's a little bit older. Do I think it's on the same level as Babe? No. I think in part, again, I'm just really stuck on the CGI. And Babe was so charming because of the use of animatronics and interspersed with real animal actors. I don't know to what extent they used real animals on the set of Babe, but I'm assuming at least in the long shots, they used animal actors. And I can tell the difference.
So fine, yeah. No, I agree with you on that. I do. I think that that's something that for the most part was distracting. And I did feel like it deterred a bit from the movie. It would have been better to do either puppets or a mix of real animals and CGI, or like they did, like I think you brought up the best example, Project Hail Mary. It was a mix of CGI and puppetry done extremely well, right? Like, I mean, I think it just worked perfectly.
I think for me, it was like you could tell the faces. You know what I mean? Like you said, when the animals were by themselves, it felt like the animals, the faces were like cartoony. And because this is not a cartoon, it's a live action. I think we've come a long way in what we call live action with characters. Like think of like the Disney movies where they're like, this is live action. The Lion King. This is live action Lion King. No, this is CGI. So I think we've come a long way, and the quality is better. But this wasn't like a deep fake um sheep I was watching. Like I'm
Right.
like, this is a yeah. So anyways, I enjoyed this movie, Mike. It is getting really good reviews and people do seem to be really enjoying it. I think we're just starved for good quality. Again, I don't quite think this is a family movie. And in fact, I'm on the Wikipedia and it's described as a mystery comedy film, which I think is more accurate. I don't know what the rating is. To me, this felt like a PG mystery comedy. So again, I would show it to like 12 and up. And I think we're starved for that kind of what you're describing, Mike, like movies you can watch with older kids that don't pander to the kids, but everyone can enjoy it. And this felt like a throwback to those movies of the 90s where they are a little bit grown up, but you're comfortable watching it with older children. So, ultimately, Mike, I don't know if there's more you want to say about this movie or if you're ready to give your review.
Yeah, I think for me, I think I can kind of sum up my feelings for this movie as I thought it was good, not great, breezy and fun, but not as much depth as I wanted it to have. I can't say I wasn't entertained. I wanted to laugh more. I wanted to enjoy it more than kind of what I got. That's not to say it's not something I think some people would really like. Like I completely agree that there will be lots of people who just love this movie, and there's nothing wrong with that. And like you said, different tastes, different interests. So I'm ready to say, like, to me, it's a stream it. I would kind of be maybe on a lighter stream it. Like I wouldn't run out and recommend this movie to people, but there are some people I know that I would say, oh, you're going to love this movie. Like I without a doubt would say that there are people out there who will love this movie. And I think the adorable sheep goes a long way for a lot of people. So
The sheep are cute.
Yeah. And I mean, CGI problems aside, that bothers you and me. I don't know if that's going to bother everybody else. I think there's lots of people who wouldn't care.
I'm shocked. This is going to make me sound really pretentious, but I'm just going to say it. I'm shocked by the level of bad CGI people are willing to put up with.
Oh, I don't think that makes you sound pretentious. It's confusing. Like why people would put, I don't know. Like I'm with you. There are some CGI around like that looks awful, but people just don't care as much.
I don't know. Like, do people just not care about how things look? I guess not. Like, you know, you walk into someone's house and they don't have a lot of design sensibility and they're fine with it.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe just because we watch so much media and especially because you're in theater, we have like, we're more like aesthetics driven. But like, I care about how my movie looks.
I do too. And I think one of the things you kind of brought up that really bothered you with the sheep, I just think that what bothers me a bit is I think that's a quick fix. Maybe it's not, and maybe it's harder than we think. But I look at it and go, yeah, but we've seen other movies do this better. Whether it be a mix of puppetry and a mix of CGI and making sure that's kind of in there if you're not wanting to use animals for that, if you feel you want to go a different route. So yeah, I do look at things and I'm like, well, we see examples of it being so good. Why can't you why can't you do that? Like, why can't you stick to that model? But yeah, I don't know.
Overall, Mike, to me, this is a see it. And I think I'm more in line with like mainstream reviewers because it has like high 90s on Rotten Tomatoes. I don't think I'm alone in thinking that this is a nice movie to watch. Exactly like you said, there are people in my life that like I would recommend this movie. I think of like my mother-in-law. Although we did tell her that we cried and she was like, oh, maybe I don't want to see it then. So just like, it is like, I don't know if feel good is the right way. It's a very nice, enjoyable, easy experience. However, It is kind of philosophical, and it does deal with themes of grief and remembering in a very gentle, I think, beautiful way. So this is a movie I would have no problem recommending to people. And I think you could watch this movie easily in mixed company. Like if you were with like your mom, your grandma, and like an older kid, you could all watch that movie together and you wouldn't have to be squeamish or concerned about the content. So to me, this is definitely a see it. And a nice spring movie too, as we're heading into warmer weather. This is seasonally a good movie to watch.
Oh, I agree. I think it's a seasonally good movie. I think it's good for kind of that light summer counter programming. Like I think it's the kind of movie that I don't think you'll be disappointed to see. I do think there's elements of it I wanted it to be more. And I just, knowing our audience, Taylor, I think our audience would like to.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of why I'm still saying, yeah, I'm going to give it a stream it. To me, it's a little bit of a light stream it, but I can't give it a skip it because I don't think that's true to the nature of this movie. I thought it had a lot of really good elements to it that worked. Just didn't go far enough for me, but that's not going to be the same for everybody. So I can't disagree with a lot of the points you brought up. I think it is just about, there will be some people and a lot of people in terms of what we've seen absolutely will love this movie. And you just brought up the reviews have been spectacular.
The other thing, I don't know if you grew up watching British procedural or like murder mystery shows, but not like dark, gritty ones. So I grew up, they were on TVO, and I remember like I would get to stay up and I would watch these with my dad. They were probably about like an hour. Midsummer murders. There was like a whole genre of these. I'm sure they're still being made, but they're different from murder mysteries that are being made now where they're like really gritty and dark. These would be like, oh, it's the coach of the cricket team who was hated by everyone in the village has been murdered. And now we have to solve it in this like very genteel countryside. So if you grew up or if you still watch those, I think one headline described it as like cozy murder.
Cozy murder.
Like Murder, She Wrote. Like, I don't know. Like, it's like a murder happens, but like it's not.
Not that big of a deal.
Yeah, or like the crimes aren't like lurid, I guess. Like they're not like it's normal, like it's because there's like a feud in the town or there's been an embezzlement. It's not like a violent serial killer. You know what I'm trying to explain? Like
I do, yeah.
It's just like murder does happen, but it's like lower stakes, I guess. If you like that kind of murder mystery, you'll also like this kind of murder mystery where it wasn't gross. Like it's like the murder itself is a mystery. Like not only was it a whodunit, it was kind of like a how did they do it. And it isn't like super graphic or anything. So if you like those type of murder mysteries, I also think you'll like this. And it just so happens that instead of a little British woman solving the crime, it's a bunch of sheep. Before we
The way you describe that, Taylor, that's going to sell a lot of people.
Yeah. I knew what I was doing. Okay, so before we end the night, we were doing this a little while and then we kind of fell off, but we wanted to tell people what we were looking forward to. And Mike, I don't know if you have any movies on your docket, but one movie I'm looking forward to is called Obsession. This movie debuted at TIFF in the fall, so it's actually a 2025 movie, but it had its wide release in May 15th it was released. I believe it's still in theaters in Canada, so I haven't had a chance to catch it yet. I'm probably going to stream it. Why I'm excited about this movie, I've seen a lot of buzz on it. The algorithm was giving me lots of details about this movie, and I'm like, oh, it sounds like an interesting concept, whatever. Then I found out it's directed and written by Curry Barker, who longtime listeners of the show and astute horror fans may remember. He directed and starred in that viral YouTube movie called Milk and Cereal.
Right.
That came out in 2024. I can't remember if I reviewed it in 2024 or if I reviewed it in 2025, but I did review Milk and Cereal. It's a feature-length movie, but he didn't get any distributor. So he just said, fine, I'll release it for free on YouTube. And at the time I said, he is going to be a director. Like he will be a household name. If he's just making this, he made that movie on like an $800 or $900 US budget. And the majority of that budget went towards hiring an actor for Milk and Cereal. So anyways, Obsession is his, I guess you could call it a debut, or I guess you would say like commercial debut. And he wrote and directed. I do not believe he's starring in this movie, but it's getting a lot of buzz to the point, Mike, or at least I don't know what he, like, how he's promoting himself, but get this. He is rebooting Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Really?
After only releasing a YouTube, like a direct to YouTube viral movie and Obsession that debuted at TIFF in 2025. So that, like, when I said in my review that like he's a very promising writer director, I guess I was right. Because to be handed, it's A24, so it's going to be a pretty interesting production, but that's a major franchise.
That's a huge franchise. Like and one that, I mean, it's not, something that I'm certainly attached to, but a lot of people love that franchise. Like, especially horror franchises have huge cult followings. Like, it's risky. Like, to say the least, that's a risky move.
Well, Obsession's getting good reviews. I'm really looking forward to it. Two more things. He's also going to be directing, co-writing, and co-starring in his third feature film, Anything But Ghosts, which, Mike, you're gonna love. It's about fraudulent paranormal investigators.
Oh.
I believe it's gonna be through Blumhouse.
Okay.
Two fake paranormal investigators must face actual ghosts while dealing with the deception of their own fraudulent business. So very much like The Last Exorcism, but the last thing I was going to say, he's only 26, which makes me be like, wow, like what am I doing with my life? But he's young, he's super passionate, like he just lives and breathes and dreams movies. He reminds me a lot of the Nosferatu director. Why do I always forget his name? Eggert.
Oh, Robert Eggers.
It's because Robert, for some reason, I always want to call him Roger. Maybe because I like Roger Ebert. But anyways, I'm super excited for Obsession. And then once I see Obsession, I'll tell you if I'm excited to see Anything But Ghosts. But I am kind of excited to see Anything But Ghosts because the premise sounds a lot of fun. So anyways, stay tuned for that. I'll probably review it in the next couple weeks, or at least when it gets to streaming. Anything on your end, Mike?
Well, I mean, I have to bring up The Odyssey.
Yes, that's coming out soon.
That's coming out soon. And now this one isn't a summer movie, but there is a Spider-Man movie. Oh, actually, I think it might be coming out in the summer. I thought maybe it was a fall release, but I think it might be late July or August. The Spider-Man movie's coming out
with Tom. Is that a Tom Holland?
Yeah, Tom Holland's back. So yeah, I would say that is one that I'm looking forward to. But otherwise, yeah, I think those are the ones that are on my radar. I will end up seeing most of the summer movies if I can. I love seeing movies in the summer, but I would say those were my most anticipated ones, which is Spider-Man, but there's also that Alien movie that looks kind of interesting.
Disclosure Day.
Yes, that one. Yeah, that looks kind of interesting. So I'll definitely check that out. I will not see Supergirl. I know that.
Talk about CGI. When is Dune coming out?
Dune is this fall.
Oh, okay.
That'll be either probably November.
Right. But that's so not in the summer docket. Well, you'll have a lot to watch until then.
Yeah, it's definitely... Yeah, there's definitely going to be a lot in between, because Dune, I think, has been a big fall release, like the big November kind of thing, which we've seen a lot of big epic movies come out then. But yeah, I think Odyssey will have to tide me over in my epic movie.
Mike, Dune 3, December 18th.
December.
So
just in time for Christmas.
Yeah, more of a Christmas movie. Interesting.
Yeah, that's I could have sworn it was earlier, but
there you go.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I mean, I have seen and will continue to see movies on Christmas, or maybe not Christmas Day, but certainly around then. And yeah, that's not a bad one. I don't have a problem with that.
2 years in a row, I think I've convinced Dan to take me to the movies on Boxing Day. Yeah, because we saw Nosferatu and then Song Sung Blues. I think not necessarily on Boxing Day, but in and around the last couple days of December, perfect time to go to a movie. And the theater's not very busy.
No, it's not too busy at all, which is nice. I mean, it's nice to have kind of a emptier or kind of the theater yourself. But it's definitely, at least to me, one of those traditions that always in and around Christmas time, it's always nice to see a movie. Just that kind of break. Maybe it's left over from taking breaks from school, like you kind of always had that 2-week period. So I guess that'll be what I see Odyssey. I thought I'd get to see it this summer, but I guess not.
No, but we have plenty of warm weather until then, don't we, Dan? I just called you Dan, Mike. Yeah. You can either edit that out or keep it in, whatever.
I don't know if I can edit this file, but
I guess we'll see. All right. Anything to sign us off, Mike?
No, sorry to everybody for our weird audio this week. We should have everything back on track soon. This hopefully is just a temporary problem. But yeah, thanks everybody for listening and sticking around.
Go see some movies.
Thank you for listening to You Had Me at Skip It, a Soul One Arts Inc. podcast. This podcast is produced by Mike Shepard and Austin Spinner Summer. It is a project of Soul One Arts Inc. To learn more about Soul One and all the great work that Soul One is doing in the arts community, especially in film, theater, and other performing arts, visit soul1arts.ca. You can contribute to this podcast by visiting soul1arts.ca and going to the podcast tab. You'll find all the information on You Had Me at Skip It and how you can get your questions read on air each week. Thank you again for listening.